Hey everyone, welcome to the program WRSA Radio. I am your host, Grenadier One. As always, I hope you're having a good week. Been a good one for me as I dove into some more projects around the homestead. Always good to knock a few of those off the list. Getting into working on some vehicles around the property and that kind of thing. It's been fun, been interesting. As we toiled away this week, the world burned a little more, and we slipped ever more into the abyss of national death. Make no mistake about this. This nation is being murdered, and it's being done intentionally. I think most of you know this by now. The big news this week is, of course, the new indictment of former President Donald Trump on yet another made-up and politically motivated criminal charge, at least in my opinion, that it is made up and politically motivated. This case is about as serious as the other case in New York that Trump is facing. This one is out of Miami. Because, of course, he lives in Mar-a-Lago, and this is alleged to have occurred in Mar-a-Lago. And it's just another front in the long list of attempts to crush this man and prevent him from causing trouble to the plans of the elite. Now, I don't really care very much about Trump at this point, and I think I've made that clear several times in the program before. I was a Trump supporter or tacitly still support him more because of what he represents than who he actually is himself. But I just think he's spent at this point, and we've gotten about as much out of him as we're going to get. I think he's carried the ball as far as he's going to be able to do that. However, it is clear that the elite intend to use him to send a message, and for that he is still very much in play and very much important and symbolic. The message is that no matter who you think you can send against us, we are in position to crush them, and we don't care about the truth, we don't care about justice, and we most surely do not care about your worthless piece of paper that you bitterly cling to called the Constitution. That's how the elites believe, and Trump is just a big symbolic target. He is an effigy that represents everything about trad America, and the elites intend to destroy him to, symbolically kill that, to destroy what was, right? It's like their final act in putting the nail in the coffin of old America. At least that's kind of what it's becoming. I certainly don't think that's what they intended, or this was like some long-term conspiracy goal. This is just what presented itself, right? So it's evolved into that, and they want you to know this. They're making no real secret of the fact that these charges are nonsense. I don't think no one is really seriously defending these charges except the most lamestream media. This is horrible. This is damaging and threatening to our national security. And just the Kool-Aid drinkers are out in full force in the comment sections of some of these posts on national media sites and social media. Carrying the water, pushing this narrative. That this is just the most grave and heinous crime that's ever been committed, since Watergate at least. But they're making no real secret of the fact, I don't think, that these charges are nonsense. It's not a coincidence that Trump is being charged with crimes that are similar, if not identical, to the accusations that have been leveled against Hillary Clinton. It's been alleged that Hillary Clinton, through the Clinton Foundation, misappropriated funds from that nonprofit to personal and possibly, campaign-related expenses. In fact, Hillary paid a fine for campaign funding violations, and the media just kind of glossed over that and didn't really make too much of a story about it. It was just quietly taken care of. Oh, yeah, here's a fine, pay the fine, move on kind of thing. And Hillary was also accused of illegal handling of classified information and improper storage of documents and emails that allowed access to people who did not have proper clearance. And this is exactly what Trump is being accused of. And this is not by chance. This is deliberate and purposeful. Again, the elite, they thumb their noses at us peasants, okay? And they flaunt the fact that Trump made these accusations against Hillary, and Trump supporters, chanted, lock her up, lock her up. And now they're charging him with the very same crimes she's accused of. This gets a big laugh. It's a big freaking joke to them. They get a big laugh thinking how stupid we are and how we're a bunch of ignorant hicks and rubes for thinking that the establishment was going to do something that would destroy one of their own people just because some, jacked up real estate developer with a spray tan got into the White House. They think that we're fools for believing that we still have any say in what goes on and how the country is ran. We're foolish to believe that the FBI and the DOJ are part of the executive branch and answer to the president and wouldn't go to war with the president and try to bring the president down. They would actually do their jobs and investigate potential crimes from former government officials and put them in jail. How stupid are we to believe that? Boy, are we stupid. Now to change gears a little bit. This week I watched a video from a YouTuber that I follow, Bushido Blues, I believe is what his channel goes by. You guys know I'm into Japanese cinema and the way of the samurai, whatnot. Not in a weeb kind of way or anything like that. I don't have a fedora or a katana hanging on the wall or anything like that. It's just something that I'm drawn to for a lot of different reasons. But anyway, I digress. So this YouTuber, he does a lot of reviews and coverage of Japanese cinema, samurai movies in particular. And he's done some very fantastic videos breaking down, these classic movies from the genre. Well, anyway, this week he put out another video. He's done one before, but this is a new video on the Kurosawa film Ran. Now, if you do not know, Akira Kurosawa is one of, if not the greatest Japanese filmmaker of all time. He's in fact superior to most American and European directors, at least in my opinion. The man is, or was, a master at his craft. Ran is, in the minds of many people, considered his best film, and it is stunningly beautiful, and it really kind of encapsulates the phrase, every frame a painting. It's just a beautiful film to watch, and you could watch this with no sound and have no idea what the story was going on, and it's still stunning. But from a story standpoint, Ran is a retelling, or at least heavily influenced by the Shakespeare play King Lear. Now, the story centers around a warlord who he's old, he's aging, and he's decided that he's going to step down and he's going to divide his kingdom into 3 parts, one for each of his sons. And he believes that this will bring about tranquility and peace because he's known nothing but war, basically. It, however, has the exact opposite effect, and the kingdom descends into war and savagery as these sons fight over the right to be, the head of all of the kingdom. And the warlord, during all this, descends into madness. Now, there's all kinds of symbolism going on here that again, you could do an entire video just about that, including a female character that represents what you could call completely uncontrolled and unhinged feminine irrationality. She is just as insane as the old king, and she does meet her just deserves in one of the most iconic scenes in the film. It's something that's used pretty heavily in the marketing and the promotion of the film. And if if you Google Ron and images, you will see the blood splattered wall and the samurai standing in front of it as he delivers the killing blow to her. Like I said, just incredibly ironic or iconic scene from the film. If you can't tell, I love this film, and I've seen it multiple times. It's something that I try to watch a couple of times, or well, every couple of years, along with another film, Kurosawa's Kagemusha, which is also fantastic. But if you've not seen them, go check them out. They're phenomenal. Like I said, all of his work is just amazing. But anyway, now you might be wondering what this has to do with anything going on in the world today and why I'm talking about this, other than the fact that I just like movies. But maybe you figured it out already. But let me elaborate. So the name of the film, Ron, is a word meaning chaos or turmoil. And I can't think of a word that more completely describes the state of the nation that we are living in than chaos or turmoil. We are led by an aging old man who has lost his mind, and he and those he represents have divided the country in an utterly false belief that it will somehow lead to peace and tranquility. Only it has led to chaos. In the background, we have insane feminism and scheming powers, completely mad and drunk on power. In the movie, there's even a character that is played by a Japanese actor who was openly gay at the time and very known for being that. He plays the jester for the warlord, and he's this rather androgynous character. So the parallels are just staring you in the face if you know how to see them. And the film is really dark in terms of tone and the ending. It doesn't leave you feeling very uplifted or inspired at all. It's hard to really pick out the exact message of the film without being steered towards hopelessness and sorrow and despair. So it's not a film for people who easily get down or depressed, much like living in America these days. But I think to get to the real message of the film, you have to step out of it a little bit and look at it from outside of the context of the situation and the themes that are going on. You look at the people portrayed in the film and you recognize their sins and their folly. And you see how pride and hubris and vanity and this burning desire for vengeance just tears people and shreds them into nothing. How they burn the fabric of sanity and drive those consumed with them into madness. And the message is rather simple. It's take care, because there before the grace of God go thee. Now there's a line in the film that was used by the YouTuber as his video title, and I think it best represents why I think this film has relevance to our situation. So as the aging warlord is dying, they're out in this kind of volcanic wasteland, and the fool, the jester, he utters this phrase, "In a mad world, only the mad are sane." And folks, we live in a mad world. And that brings me to the last little bit of news that I wanted to kind of touch on this week. The world this week lost Ted Kaczynski, Uncle Ted. And if you don't recognize the name, maybe you know him more as the Unabomber. Now, it was reported that he had cancer and was found dead in his cell. I believe it was Tuesday morning, if I recall correctly. And I did see one report that said that he had committed suicide, but I didn't see any other mention of that, so I'm not sure of that. I can't confirm that. Maybe you know more about it at this point than I do, but anyway, I just know that he passed away and he's no longer with us. Now, Ted has grown to quite the folk hero, on the right at least, over the last number of years, along with Marvin Haymeyer from the Killdozer. And he's come to represent kind of the links that one may be pushed to when faced with the unrelenting power of government and societal change. Now, if you get a chance, go Google the Unabomber Manifesto and give it a read. It's kind of a long read, but it is very enlightening. The more and more we face the modern world, and the more we face the madness of what we are living in, the more I see the wisdom from that guy who took himself off the grid to live in a little cabin in the woods. His words have come to be very prophetic and way ahead of his time. I think he was a very misunderstood man. Now, of course, there are those who will say that, well, yeah, Ted was misunderstood, sure, but in the end, he did kill people. And that is true, and I can't condone innocent people, getting blasted by letters in the mail. Nobody really would condone that. But I am coming more and more to the conclusion that the only real problem with Ted is that he was just mailing the wrong people. In a mad world, only the mad are sane, indeed. Now, that's all I got time for this week, folks. Like and subscribe. Come see us over on Gab and the Mothership, and I will see you on the next episode.